Welcome to the Monaco Grand Prix here in the Bwoah Racing League season number 6. Joining me in the comms box as always is Sarthak. How are you today, sir?
Brilliant as always. It's the wonderful weekend here in India, and as is everywhere else, I'd imagine. Um, why do I feel like I'm living in another universe? Anyway, we are heading into Monaco. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I don't see any other reason to be excited for the day. What about you, Darwin? How you been doing? What have you been up to lately?
Lately, well, to be honest, I've kept myself distant from sim racing because I've been busy watching football, FIFA World Cups
Oh.
going on and whatnot. But yeah, I think we always squeeze some time in for a bit of racing, and of all places, we are in Monaco. The biggest rival for today, it's gonna be the Walls. It's not gonna be your championship rival. It's gonna be the Walls.
Spoken like a true sim racing driver right there, Davin. But yeah, we got 12 drivers, so probably not. Uh, uh, Probably the only race you don't want a completely packed grid if you're a driver, right? And going into this one, 12 drivers not too bad. We've had the average attendance ranging from 12 to 15, and you can already see a bunch of drivers excited to come out. That's rare at times. I jumped into the McLaren VC Ravin, and Big Man Joe was there too. He's in the Alfa Romeo, by the way. And I heard him talking about how he had, retired from the race itself last season, and he'll be looking to correct himself in that particular corner he retired in this time around, and how he needs to stay ahead of Gouts or qualify ahead of Gouts instead of behind him.
Yeah, well, that's definitely an interesting take there. Track position of all the tracks in the calendar in real life and in sim race, Monaco track position is king, and that's no joke because even if you can if you have the fastest overall race pace, but if you can stick it on pole here, you can hold up the pack and hopefully not get undercutted by them. That's also another thing to be wary of. But if you have the pace to stick it on pole, and then if you have the pace to manage your race from lap 1 to lap 39 here, I think the race win is yours. The only obstacle is probably going to be yourself. When I mean yourself, that's well, how good can you keep it within the lines? There's not much exit runoff here, as we can see with Signy, who's starting his first lap. Sunday Ward, it's it's a sight to be held. We miss our good old friend Jeff, who always says that one famous line: "No heroics into Sunday Ward," and we expect some heroics into Sunday Ward in lap 1. In qualifying, maybe we'll see some.
Yeah, I think Sandoval's the same part of the track. I think Vex had this moment where he was almost completely sideways. He was essentially drifting and having a Tokyo drift moment. So yeah,
Yep, yep.
that's a classic clip in around Bwoah Racing League. But I'm still on board Sickney. He goes through the infamous tunnel section of the track and the chicane, of course, which is a tricky one at that. I'm not a fan of that part of the track at all.
Yeah, indeed. And then here comes the swing pull chicane, and then that bump inside. Ooh, a bit wiggly there, isn't it? And then
Yeah.
Raskas, La Raskas, as they like to say, it's probably one of the few overtaking opportunities if someone runs wide on the entry there and across the line. 11.2. That's a good banker, I would say. Like you mentioned earlier, drivers are going out early. It's to build up the confidence lap after lap. It's not about getting a good lap time out of the box. It's about building the confidence around this track because that's like last weekend we were in Austria where there's a lot of runoff, so you can play around with the track limits. Whereas here, you have to build up a confidence lap after lap. And Signic so far, getting on top of it. Dylan Toe, Andre, 9 tenths behind. So I'm guessing by the time they complete their second and third runs, the lap times will be much better than this.
Yeah, we haven't seen the best drivers you could say in a way, the most consistently in the top three drivers still yet to sell a lap time. Levi, Tiger Pants, Envy, and Mr. Wex as well. Big Man Joe's on an outlap of his own. I'm surprised actually Sicknick's lap holds good enough. So much so even Andre couldn't close in on that. But again, early runnings, too early to say. We've still got under 14 minutes of short qualifying left, folks. The fastest lap time on your board
There
It's
you
the
go.
leader in the Drivers' Championship fight at the moment. It's Envy, 1 minute 10.691.
Yeah, very good lap time there once again. And Levi Tiger Pants, not too far off, a tenth and a half away. And Monaco, as they say, it's a driver track and not so much of your car and the setup. So if you can make the difference out on track, well, this is the place to prove it. So 5 tenths, I don't think that's too much of a gap. If he has some skill left in him, Signic, hope the training works out well. He should.
Early
Pick up his
retirement?
run. Yeah, Derp is out already, and that is into Sunday Ward of all places. Derp is out. Derp is out.
No.
Oh, wow. I wonder what happened there.
Probably he catches car on board while riding on board Big Man Joe. Perhaps, as long as it's not cleared off just yet, yeah. Right on board Big Man Joe and into Sander Ward on the left-hand side of your screen, folks. He's just gone straight into the barriers. He's on a Max Verstappen. I believe he is a Max Verstappen fan. But in this case, it's in qualifying, and it's in the qualifying, early stages of qualifying itself.
Yeah, and well, unlike Austria where he did pretty much a last to first-ish kind of a challenge, it's a difficult one to pull off here. Like we know, it's not easy to overtake. You're running maximum downforce around here. There's not enough of a straight to make a challenge. You'd argue maybe coming out of the tunnel, into the tunnel, and out of the tunnel into Novel Chicane might be a good chance if someone gets a good run. Pit straight if someone gets a bad exit, and then up the hill before, coming out of turn 1. Maybe that's the only other opportunity. But yeah, you really have to be on your toes, on your tiptoes, if anything, to get an opportunity to overtake. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck behind for a long time. Few more lap times coming in. Mr. Wex, the last of the bunch to set a lap time, but he has invalidated his first attempt here. Looks like he will be going for another one. No, pulls into the pits right away.
On the topic of overtaking opportunities itself and the straight not being too long, we actually had a moment, I believe, season 3, if my memory serves me right, or maybe season 4. But the moment was 3 abreast out of the last corner, believe me or not. And I believe UK was involved, KDB was involved in that as well, with 2 cars going wheel to wheel right behind them as well. So it was a 5-car frenzy out the final corner. And I don't know, I mean, clearly they did not survive that. I believe UK went into the wall, lost a front wing, of course, evidently. And yeah, it was chaos. I hope it isn't chaos, but I would love to see a bit of action at the same level going into this race as well. We got about 2.5 minutes of short qualifying left. Been quiet, hasn't it? Envy, Levi, Andre in the top 3, as you'd expect. Big Man Joe's lap time gives him 5th fastest, and Derp retiring from the session already. Pretty early on.
Yeah, 10 minutes to go. I think that's solid. 2 runs left in everyone's car. I wonder what tire allocation they've gone for. More medium tires, more soft tires. Are they expecting late safety car and whatnot? Because once again, even if you are, if there's a safety car late into the race, say like 5-10 laps to go, track position again matters the most. You can stay out on your old hard tires and you will be still able to block everyone essentially behind you. So I think Monaco is one of the tracks where strategy is an oddity, downforce is an oddity, everything is an oddity here around here. So it's qualifying is the show that we really look for in real life. It's not much happening in the race. Unlike in real life, we had mixed conditions where it was starting off wet and then went on to a dry race. And we saw how our dear and beloved Ferrari screwed things up from a 1-2 to not getting a 1-2 in the end. Let's hope that doesn't happen to any team here today. Looks like the pair of Signic and Cuba will be representing the in-game Haas F1 team currently in P4 and 5. So I believe this is one of their better qualifying sessions so far in the season.
Probably the first lap time on the board incoming from Mr. Wex on the main straight. He crosses the start-finish line to start off his fast lap. Around Monaco, the man in Sector 1, it's sideways back in Season 3 or Season 4. And as he goes through the same part of the track, I'm pretty sure a lot of deja vu going through his head. But
Ooh,
memories for
that's
most of these
Honing,
drivers.
Sarthak. That's Honing
Right
coming
behind.
out of turn 1, riding on
Mm-mm.
board with him, and he's crashed coming out of turn 1, and that's his front right gone. Both the Ferraris out in Monaco. Is this the curse of the Ferrari in Monaco?
Same part of the track, that too.
Yep. Unfortunate for him,
That's
that's gonna put him down to P11. So the Ferrari starting at the back, similar to last weekend. But again, Andre, ooh, okay, he's interrupted our session here. He goes fastest with a 10.5, a full 10th quicker than Envy so far. I'm guessing Envy, who's rejoined the session, will be coming up pretty soon. Levi Tiger Pence and Signic also on their respective laps. Signic, not Signic, Gouts coming across the finish line. Looks like it's an improvement, and improvement it is. 1.4 still off the pace, but 1 second improvement puts him up to P7 for now.
Yeah, and that's 8th fastest for Mr. Wex. First lap time on the board. I'd imagine he can do better with 7.5 minutes left to the session itself. Dylan Toe, he had gotten off to a great start. Finds himself down in 10th fastest so far. He'll be looking at better his lap time. I'm surprised. This is probably one of these rare moments where Envy is actually beaten early on into a qualifying by Andre uh, and not by someone else. So clearly, going into the race itself, I'd imagine it to be a closer race up in front. I think it's about time we got a close race up in front and not an easy takeaway for the win from Envy. And yeah, hopefully Levi can get a better race in comparison to the ones he's had so far, because it seems like he has the pace in qualifying, but the race itself doesn't go his way.
Indeed, and I can absolutely relate with that. Sometimes you just have the qualifying pace, sometimes you just have the race pace. It's one or the other. It's pretty hard to nail both, but yes, across sector 2 into Tabac corner, he sends it through, very close to the wall. Now coming to Larascas, can he keep it tight? Okay, looks just nice. And on the exit, Anthony knows the final corner, DRS wide open. Slam the throttle all the way to the line. What's the lap time going to be? P2! So, wow, okay. 400ths of pole so far. So it is getting pretty tight here. We might have a 3 or even a 4-way battle for poles, where it looks like it. And it's anyone's guess who would take the pole position today.
I don't think Signic's come out and actually said a lap time after his first lap, has he? That first lap time probably is the most solid one he's gotten, and it's given him 4th fastest so far, ahead of his teammate, ahead of the likes of Big Manjo, Mr. Wexdishi, and Dylan Toe. So, who's to say he can't come out and put out an even better lap time? But he's got 6 minutes to do so. Hopefully, he can. But Envy, he's looking at the timesheets just as much as we are, I'm sure.
Ooh.
And he's thinking to himself that, have I met my match around Monaco?
Yes, he might have just met his match, and maybe one more guy to join the fray. Street has joined the session, and he might just pose the challenge. Envy was 2.5 tenths down in first sector alone, so that's not going well for him. He needs to pull out at least 3 tenths to even match his best lap time around here and go for pole. Into sector 2, into Tabac. Can he improve any more? Let's see. The sector time is still 2 tenths down. So it's all gonna come down to this last corner. Taps the wall there, and I think that might be a lap abandoned. Let's see if he abandons it. Indeed, there you go.
Yeah, he tapped the wall twice. I mean, the first tap was probably put him off quite a bit rather than the second. But yeah, I'm pretty sure if it was other drivers who aren't as proactive or as active in sim racing as Envy, they would have been sent into a spin, surely enough. I'm surprised we don't see UK out on track.
Oh well, UK is in the chat box today for some good reasons, and that brings me to the next topic, which he just reminded us in the chat, Sarthak. We had a amazing overcut performed by UK last year, so this is one of the strategies that you can do around Monaco. It's either the undercut or the overcut, and UK showed us how it was done last year. He was stuck behind some drivers who were on that day on that track were slower than him, but UK held his own, bided his time, and then once the drivers in front of him made a pit stop, he pushed for his dear life, and then he was the last of those pack to make a pit stop, and he made the overcut of a lifetime if I'm right, I think he made up 3 or 4 positions or even a podium out of that. So that was definitely a highlight of that race, and it'll be amazing to see if someone pulls off that feat today. Fortunately, UK is not with here today, so he won't be able to pull that off. Perhaps his teammate, Mr. Vex.
Yeah, clearly he's being super supportive of him in the chat, and he wants the rest of the grid to essentially disqualify and give Mr. Vex the win. But Mr. Vex has his work cut out for him. He's still 9th fastest on the board. Invalidates his lap time even. With 3 minutes left, I'd imagine he'd want to go up into the top 5 at the very least. Knowing Mr. Vex, he's been able to pull off those lap times on rare occasions, qualify in top 5, and really end the race in top 5 even. He slowed down incredibly, and he's going to wait for a couple of cars to pass him around the swimming pool chicane. And we're down to the last couple of minutes of qualifying. This is where things get tense. It is Monaco, the street circuit. Some of us really love. I indeed do love, and some of us, especially the drivers who constantly crash out, are not too glad about racing around here.
Indeed. And just a correction on my statement earlier, Sarthak. UK did not just get any podium, he got the top step of the podium. He won the race thanks to that O card that he performed. So thank you for the reminder. I think that was one of the 2 races he won last season, and that was definitely a highlight of the season as well. Not just highlight of the race, it was indeed a highlight of the season. So yeah, well, UK is not here. Perhaps just sandbagging his prowess around here. Mr. Vex, I'm pretty sure he will like to perform some miracles as well. Lap times coming in. As it 1 more run to go, 2 minutes where the action lies. Signic, as we were on board with him, did not improve his lap time, so that will be the end of his qualifying. Kuberabi, his teammate, is in P6 and he's out for another lap as well. And we got a bunch of drivers now getting ready to cross the line to start their last lap. And Levi Tiger Pants will be the first one to cross the line, and he's starting his lap time now. Let's go.
Yeah, I was still riding on board Mr. Vex, but Sector 3 was brilliant, Sector 2 and Sector 1 was dismal for the man. So UK's teammate, I think he gets parts of it right, but perhaps UK communicating with him into his ears might just help. But yeah, back to Levi Tiger Pants. He is going around the hairpin as we speak. His teammate is not too far off, so Alfa Romeo's, looking mighty pretty in the constructors fight.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, that is not gonna help his lap time. Looks like he had a very nasty spin coming out of that 40th section into the tunnel, and I think this is the end of his lap. He is backing off. He might just have enough time to make it across the line to start one last flying lap. Yep, he has backed off, 3 seconds off, so he's backing off. Does he have enough time? Looks like he might just have. So in the meantime, we have other drivers, Kuberabi, Signic, who are still on a lap here. No, Signic, no, he has crashed, and that's his full front wing gone. Well, that will be his qualifying end. Mr. Vex, next to cross the line. Let's see what he can do. He has invalidated his lap time as well and lost his front wing. So drivers are really pushing this final qualifying lap and finding the limit, or maybe just exceeding a little too much.
Yeah, but all eyes on Envy. He's on a fast lap. Purple sector 1 even as he goes through the tunnel section of this incredible Monte Carlo street circuit through the chicane. A beautiful line, so close to the edge of invalidating it. And Andre sets the fastest lap time. Did I miss anything, David?
Nah, that's just Andre doing his Andre things. Sets pole only 600 ahead of Levi Tiger Pants. Next across the line is Kuberabi, goes up to P5, pips his teammate down to P6. Next across the line is Envy, is 2.5 tenths up. This might be contender for over 110 flat. That is Envy on pole position provisionally.
Now that's a lap time, isn't it? It looks so good to see. 110 dead. Beautiful. You take pole position alongside Andre on the front row. Levi Tiger Pants and Big Man Joe, the 2 Alfa Romeos, rounding up the second row with the 2 Haas's on the third row. Absolutely brilliant. We've got a race, folks, with the Ferraris at the very back.
I did not expect that from the Ferraris, not today, but what we can expect is a front row lockout by Envy and Andre. It's a shame that they're not in the same team because that would be a wonderful sight to be held throughout the races. Imagine two Aston Martins or two Mercedes even locking on the front rows. But we have a pair of Alfa Romeos in the form of Levi Tiger Pants and Big Man Joe locking on the third row, and Kubarabin Siknik from the Haas team locking on the third row, and then it's a confetti down there. Dishi in P7, Gouds in P8, Wax in P9, Dylan Toe takes P10. So those are the 10 drivers who, well, I would say survived the qualifying. Derp and Honing takes the 6th row of the grid, and Streeter will start from the back.
Yes, and finally, all right, the session has ended for Envy. That's Envy for pole position for, I'm losing count, for the nth time in the Bwoah Racing League Season 6. But this time around, it did seem like, I was about to say it did seem like the other competitors were closer, and then I see he's half a second quicker. No, am I right? Yeah.
Indeed,
right.
half a second quicker. So that could be confidence, that could be genuine pace. We will find out shortly as we head into the race. And yes, support coming in from the chat for Envy. Envy pole is inevitable. Reminds me of the Thanos meme where he just snaps his finger and everything goes poof. Will Envy make everyone go poof today, or will he go poof into the wall? We will find out.
Trying to think of a really nifty stat on the front of who starts at on pole in Monaco. They actually end up on the podium to begin with. I think if there has been such a scenario before, they would have clearly worked for it, because as far as I remember, in Bwoah Racing League, time and time again, if it's Monaco, you got at least one safety car. Historically, that's been the case. So going into this one, 12 drivers, relatively lesser drivers in attendance. Who knows? Dub starting in the back, someone who's eager to get in the front. He's known for making those charges. Big Manjo on the second row alongside Levi Tiger Pants. Can Levi continue to stay in the top 5 early into the race? Something he's not been able to do in the last couple of races. Who knows?
Traditionally, well, if you speak about the real life Grand Prix, well, if it's a full dry race and all that sort of things, it's usually the front row who ends up winning the race. And more often than not, it's the guy who in P1 in qualifying that ends up winning the race. But here in Bwoah Racing League, and especially in the wider sim racing scene, it's known to produce some unexpected results. You could have some last to first in Monaco's. Well, so I wouldn't say Dub has a chance of winning here, but it's tougher chance to win from the back of the grid. But yeah, my bets would be probably on Andre, on Envy. And if Andre would want to win this race, he has to get a perfect launch off the start and then hold his own till the end.
Of course, this is a first. I'm looking at Bwoah Paddock, which is the common text channel for all our drivers, and conversations arise from the likes of Levi Tiger Pants. He's a bit perplexed on what fuel to use, and over on Cram's side, who I believe is Dylan Toe, he's a bit confused about how many laps this race is going to be, which is probably a good thing for the ones in the midfield and a bad thing for the ones who are still confused. But it's the formation lap, Davin, around the beautiful Principality of Monaco.
Yeah, and tire strategies, once again, I like to look at that. Majority of the field going for a medium tire start. Only 4 drivers, Gouts, Mr. Wax, Honing and Streeter going for the hard tires. So I'm expecting them to pull off the overcut. And if there's a late safety car, they might be in the box seat to gain some positions out of that. Meanwhile, the medium runners, they have their cards open for them. They could just box in anytime, perform the undercut on someone ahead. But I'm guessing, if you're gonna stop and come out on the hard tires, you're gonna lose the advantage on track, because it is difficult to fire up these tires in these conditions. So, well, overcut is the play, and the man who made the overcut work the best is not on the track today, but his teammate is down there in P9. So hard tires, I'm guessing, somehow that decision is being influenced by his teammate as well. I wonder what's gonna happen. 39 laps, Satak. One would guess what can happen.
Yeah, I expect Dub to make the charge early into the race itself. Dylan Toe is probably his only competitor back there, but he'll be able to make the pass real quick. I'd imagine Mr. Wex and Gouts sitting ducks in some regard, but then again, I've seen Gouts at starts really be conservative, not really mount a challenge on the next car making a pass on him, whereas Mr. Wex is probably going to fight through and through. And then really is when Derp has a challenge in his hands to make his way through Dishy, Sikne, Kuberabi. I just hope going into turn one, everyone's clean, everyone stays in the race. We got 13 drivers, folks. Streeter real cheekily jumps in at the very last moment. So that's an Alpine and Streeter starting from the back of the pack. And of course, I already see smoke coming out of the tires. So a lot of wheel spinning on the main straight.
Indeed. And it's a bit of tire burnouts that they will do. Okay, now Andre gets disqualified from the start. That's put him back a little bit off the start. And 5 lights are coming on. And it's taking time. And come on, tick off. And there you go. It's green. Go, go, go. And Envy gets a good start. Andre, despite starting a little bit behind, gets a better start. Tucks alongside and into turn 1. Envy sticks ahead for a moment. Levi Tiger Pants challenging him for the P2 and just behind a bit of commotion going on. Sartek, bring us an update on that.
Yeah, in the midfield, it started the way you would imagine it to drop, already up at a P9, but Mr. Wex clearly, evidently holding his position, ensuring Dub's gonna have a tough time, but down the inside, he sends it, and he makes a clean pass on that Williams, even ahead of the hairpin. Brilliant stuff there, and now Dub has a challenge up in front. However, things unraveled itself the way it would. Envy with a fumble start, but somehow holds on to the lead. I believe that's Dylan Toe falling to the back of the pack.
Yeah, he tried to go for a move on the inside of the hairpin and got himself stranded. Got the car beached on the curb on the inside and down to P. To up he goes. Behind him is his teammate. Up in front, MB. Yeah, like you said, holding on, not pushing too hard. He knows that this track of all places is okay to not push 100% at the start, but you know, never too hard, never too bad to get a lead early on. 7/10's the gap. I'm only presuming that's gonna grow over the time. Lap 1, very safe. Wow, that's unexpected.
Yeah, so far it did seem like there was a moment where I thought the front runners are going to collide. Andre around the outside, he was very respectful about Envy's, position. Clearly enough, but it did seem like Envy braked incredibly late in turn 1. Regardless, is that probably the only opportunity he's gonna get in the race to make the pass on Envy? Hopefully not. And I see an Alfa Romeo ghosting into the Mercedes. I don't know if there was contact, but Levi Tiger Pants clearly having some sort of issue there. And Big Man Joe, he's been in the same position he started in, which is just carefully, calmly going through each part of the track, watching carefully what the top 3 are doing, whether they're gonna fumble in the next corner, just waiting for that moment to capitalize on.
Yeah, now that's a headache, I guess, for the Alfa Romeo garage. Oh, that is Levi Tiger Pants running a little bit wide, coming into the swimming pool chicane, and Big Man Joe wastes no time to get past his teammate. Oh, wow, okay, so that is a fumble that we were not expecting, but it could have happened. And lucky for Levi, he's only lost 1 position to his teammate. So as I was saying, it is a headache for these 2 drivers, the Alfa Romeo garage, because now they have 2 drivers side by almost neck to neck in this race. And when it comes to deciding who gets to pit first, generally it's the driver in front. I was gonna say Levi was the one who's gonna get the preference, but it has turned in the split moment to Big Man Joe's favor. Up in front, Envy still keeping the gap about a second to Andre.
And yeah, you can already see the gaps extending beyond 1.5 seconds. I just hope there's some sort of rain coming down at the last couple of laps at the very least, but by the looks of it, that might not be the case.
Well, weather prediction always, like in real life, it's always going to hay. We might just see some, I hope, but me not knowing the weather at all, I'm just expecting some overtakes.
So just to reconfirm, in real life Monaco, there was rain at the start of the race?
Indeed, there was a rain at the start of the race. The race got suspended for a while. There was a delayed start because of the heavy rain. And then it got to an intermediate condition. And then it got to a dry condition. And it was a painful P4 for Charles Leclerc.
So there was an intermediate condition, surely enough.
Indeed, there was.
Alright. Alright, just checking for something else. Regardless, Levi Tiger Pants now within 3/10 of his teammate. Alfa Romeo seem like they're going to be fighting each other soon enough. I'd imagine the tunnel section of the track, but then again, they have to wait for the following lap itself. Pretty sure they're communicating with each other. Levi, if he does have the pace, if he is quicker than Big Man Joe, I don't see why Big Man Joe doesn't let him by.
Yeah, it looks like he is a little bit quicker, but then again, it could be just who's faster in which section. Levi looked the faster car in sector 1 and into sector 2 and 3. It might just be Big Man Joe is quicker, and that's a spinning car at the back. Was that Gouts?
Not too sure. I'm on to something else, Davin, but you can manage the comms just for 2 minutes.
Indeed, alright. And back in front, we have a little train forming here by Big Man Joe, who is leading his teammate, and then the two horses right behind him. Kubarabi has pulled out a little bit of a gap to Signic, but starting to pick up Dishi behind him as a train. Dub not really pushing his luck just yet, not being able to close up the gap that quickly, so I wonder if he's just looking after his tires just a little bit more. And okay, looks like we might just have a little bit of a action here. Once again, Levi Tiger Pants seem to be the faster car out on track in sector 1 at least. Big Man Joe holding him up in sector 1. Will they swap around?
Nope. Levi Tiger Pants still remains behind Big Man Joe around the hairpin. Levi Tiger Pants gets incredibly close to Big Man Joe, and he is getting incredibly close to Big Man Joe time and time again. And I'd wonder, are they trying to play the team game to ensure both Alfa Romeos close in on Andre? But it seems like they are full-on racing by the looks of it, because around the outside peaks, Levi Tiger Pants has to hold back. Big Man Joe is just parking his car in the perfect positions of the track to ensure he stays ahead, holding on to that final podium position early into this race. We're on lap number 5, folks. The Monaco GP as Levi greases the wall there, and
that is
Dishi seems to
Dishi.
be having issues. Yeah.
That is Dishi, yeah. Into swimming pool, he just clipped the wall. Or did he just spin? We're about to find out if he goes into the pits. That's a bit of damage coming his way. But yeah, back to the battle though. Like you said, Levi Tiger Pants and Big Man Joe, they're not yielding the position. Clearly they've lost more than a second to the drivers ahead. And Big Man Joe is taking his chances here of keeping the track position. I guess, no team orders just yet.
For now, we're still on lap number 6, so it's a long race to go. About 33 laps left, and if things stay the same, it's probably going to be a quiet race at that. Up ahead though, Dub seems to have shortened the gap between himself and Signic to under a second. It's varying, but it's close to a second or so. And yeah, he'll be hoping to make the pass on Signic and make the climb as well. Seems like strategic deployment of ERS on Signic's side to ensure he stays well within reach of Dub. Over a second now, almost instantly. Or a fumble perhaps from the Ferrari driver?
Yeah, a little bit coming out of the tunnel and losing 3/10 worth of time there. Regaining it though in the middle sector, and towards the end looks to be much stronger. I was gonna say much stronger on the final sector here, but doesn't look like he's gaining any time. If anything, he's losing a 10th or 2. I wonder if that little tap on the exit of swimming pool chicane might have damaged his wing a little bit. We'll only know if he's dropping even further. Right now, I think the closest gap out on track, still the Alfa Romeo pair.
Yeah, and Honey's getting closer to Streeter as well at the back of the pack. The other Ferrari out on track. Dylan Toh, not the greatest of starts. He's pitted as well, so he's on a relatively fresh set of mediums by the looks of it.
Yeah, and he'll have to go pretty long. Ooh, nice little drift up by Dylan Toh to give us a show while the camera was on him. So thank you, Dylan. As I was saying, he might have to go very long into the race on this set of mediums. Clearly they will not make it till the end, so one more pit stop is on the horizon. But he'll have to do his best. Without traffic now, he can push and make up some time. And there's a safety car at the right time, he might just benefit from it at that time.
And yeah, Levi out sector 3. It seemed like he was driving his car quite a bit, or again, the game has its way with things. Regardless, that gap ready to extend itself beyond the second soon enough. Big Man Joe and Levi running P3 and P4 having swapped positions after an unfortunate brief incident with Levi. And yeah, up ahead, Envy leads this race on lap number 8 as he did on lap number 1. The more I think about it, the more you wonder how, Gouds hasn't had the greatest starts. He's even lost that position to Dishy. And overall, in the back of the pack, it's been relatively quiet in comparison to what we see usually in Bwoah Racing League, even the midfield, where we do expect to see passes early on into the race itself, and then a bit of left field decisions being made on what kind of pit stop. I mean, when to make the pit stop and what kind of tires to fit on. But this time around, it seems like everyone's disciplined. So the Bwoah Racing League is getting a bit more disciplined race on race.
Yeah.
There we
okay.
go.
Speak about discipline. Someone's just lost their head there, and that is Dylan Toe
You
into
can ride on board Envy.
indeed, and it's just after the hotel part or whatever that place is before the end of sector 1. That's
and
brought
brought
out
out-
a full safety car.
Exactly, full course yellow. And onboard Envy as we go, we got a glimpse of Dylan Toe's car just pointing towards the barriers, and he must have lost a wheel as well in the mix. And we got a flurry of drivers from the back of the pack heading into the pits, Dub being one of them.
Yeah, and Sicknick, Horning, Sicknick, Dub, Dishin, Streeter wasting no time to get into the pits immediately. They were not past that pit lane when the safety car came out, so they were the first one to jump the gun, and obviously they're gonna go on the opposite tires that they started on. So unfortunate for Streeter though, because he started on the hards, he'll have to go to the mediums till the end. Dish is on the mediums as well. Derp is on the hards, so is Sicknick. So these two could go till the end. Horning is yet to pit. He started on the hards, so his teammate was in the box. So I wonder if he wants to stay out and gamble for another safety car here. Up in front, we have the leaders coming in for a pit stop. Envy is into the pits. Andre is staying
stays out.
out. Oh,
Big Man Joe into the pits. Levi stays out. Okay.
okay, that's Kibarabi gets a drive-through penalty, so that's not perfect. Mr. Wax coming across the Raskas, and he will stay out as well. He's staying out. Okay, hard tires stay out. Gouts, what are you gonna do?
Oh, soft tires, Kubarabi, soft tires. I don't know if that was a fat finger, but it is soft tires for the Haas in Kubarabi while his teammate went for the hard. My, oh my, is that a fumble or is that Kubarabi trying something we've not seen in a long time?
Yeah, softs and a wing change. I guess that's to make up some time out on track. But yeah, the softs will not last probably more than 5 laps around here. Good to hold position, if anything. But yeah, up in front, Andre surprisingly staying out. Envy gets a 5-second for ignoring yellow flags. I'm presuming that's for speeding under the safety car. My oh my. From going 3 seconds in the lead, pitting under the safety car, and now getting a 5-second penalty, so it's not ideal for Envy as well. Levi Tiger Pants still staying out and doing opposite to his teammate. So I wonder, what's happening?
Big Man just had a spin in the tunnel. He's lost a front wing.
Oh no. Oh no.
He's lost a front wing and he'd just been in the pits. You can't make this up. Under safety car, Big Man Joe has had an incident, and that Alfa Romeo with no front wing will be headed into the pits. Andre and Levi has decided to pit as well, 1 lap later than Envy. So Envy has essentially come back into the lead of this race, but with a solid 5-second penalty. Mr. Wex is now running P2 with a penalty to his name as well, but 10-lap-old hards.
10-lap-old hards. That could still go a very long way into the race. If we get another safety car, Levi Tiger Pence rejoins in P3, Andre in P4. So Big Man Joe, that's a poor one for him, I guess. Losing the wing, and now tire change. He's probably going to be dropped down to last position.
Really unfortunate given Envy's penalty even, and the fact that he had already made the pass on Levi Tiger Pants, the real competitor for Big Man Joe would have been just Andre up in front, and now he finds himself all the way down in P12. What a turn it's taken this race for the likes of Big Man Joe, and he's coming out on the sauce. He's seen Kuberabi do the same thing. I wonder if that's the right call to make. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully, chaos doesn't ensue for the soft runners.
Yeah, soft tires might be the right choice to go just for a lap or two. Perhaps just try to get that elusive track position while the mediums and hards take their sweet time to warm up. Andres rejoined the session. I wonder if his AI pitted him unexpectedly, but he will be happy to see he's still in P4, while Envy and Mr. Wax up ahead have some penalties to their name. Envy with the 5 seconds, so which means if he boxes again, he will have to serve that time penalty or it gets carried till the end of the race. Mr. Wax, yet to pit, finds himself up in P2, replicating his teammates' efforts from Season 5. UK did amazing overcut to win the race. Levi Tiger Pants, well, I think him and his teammate having a squabble of who's gonna go into the pits first. Big Man Joe, being the driver ahead on track at that time, went in first, but now he's dropped down to P12. No thanks to a spin in the tunnel and losing his entire front wing. So Levi finds himself in P3 and in the box seat to possibly win the race if he can keep up within 5 seconds of Envy.
I was just obsessing over the AMG's engine note up in front of the safety car itself. But yeah, through the tunnel section it's going to go. I'd love to see the AMG go flat out, but I don't think we're going to get to see that. Regardless, Envy's 5 second, will it hold up post race? Who knows? But Mr. Wex, does he have enough heat in his tires? Does he have the pace to ensure that he doesn't get picked off by Levi, Andre, right behind him? Because Gouts is the only other hard runner out there with 11 lap old hard tires. Horning finds himself probably the highest he's been in BRL this season so far, and that is the safety car in this lap.
Oh no,
let's have a clean race.
That's a little bit of a trouble for Big Man Joe though, Sartik, because he boxed for the hearts once again to clear himself off the soft tires, and he's finding himself 30 seconds off the grid, and it's only about making it to the end of sector 2 at Newell Chicane. He has to go quick because he's gonna miss the train. Up in front, Envy getting frantically left and right to warm his tires, and is about to go once again.
You can see Vex getting raring to go. You can see Kuberabi heading into the pits to change of tires. He clearly made the wrong call early on, and as it stands, Envy's pulled away quite a bit. Half a second's gap, and he's just running away. And here comes Levi Tiger Pants down the inside, you could say, to the sector 1. He goes back up into P2, folks. That is the Alfa Romeo on the charge on their Aston Martin up in front.
Indeed, now all Levi has to do is keep within 5 seconds, and Andre finds himself in the opportunity down the inside and makes the move up into P3, and that's some positions being swapped around. That's a Ferrari on the back. Dish is retired. He's out of the race. And I wonder what is going on
in the hairpin. He's lost his front left, and that spinning Ferrari was derp and not horning, mind you. And that is sector 2. I'd be surprised if we don't get a safety car, but it did seem hard enough incident as we did see even Dylan Toe go out. But it does seem like it's sector 2 yellow. Ferrari has spun out yet again. I don't know if he still has his front wing horning. But yeah, Dishy, another race retirement.
Yeah, unfortunate for the rookie this season. Not finding himself a perfect race to show off his skills. And another rookie up in front, Levi Tiger Pants, picks up a 3-second penalty for his own troubles. Now that's gonna put him still within contention of the win if he's within 2 seconds of Envy. But yeah.
Okay, did he mean to do this? Because Sicknick just entered the pits on 4-lap old hards. Oh, no front wing. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, yep. We expected no front wings a lot around Monaco, and well, it seems to be an unlimited amount of front wings in the garage today.
Surely they need it, despite UK not being here. Anyway, moving on. Levi up in front, racked up that time penalty, and probably now boarding to his race itself. But Andre, he's the one with the advantage now. He just needs to close that gap, make the pass, or perhaps just stay within 3 seconds of Levi, within about 8 seconds of Envy, and he's good to go.
5 seconds started, correction there. Within
Yeah.
5 seconds of Envy and 3 seconds of Levi, and the win goes to Andre for now. So, well, all of a sudden, we were looking, just a lap and a half ago, we were looking at the potential of Levi winning his first race in this season, and once again, it has turned around to Andre, who's in the box seat to win the race. So, all they have to do is just keep it easy till the end of the race. We're not even halfway through yet. We have about 25 laps to go before we even reach the end. Big Man Joe and Dub are swapping positions. So what has happened there? Dub is into the pits. Yes, and that is a wing change coming in for the Ferrari. Soft tires as well for Dub. I'm guessing he's just getting ready to set some quick laps before another pit stop. Signing is coming around.
Yeah, the most number of laps we've seen on the soft shirt today is from Kubarabi under the safety car, 2 laps. So I don't know what Dub's thinking, but let's just hope he's thought it out more than Kubarabi and even Big Man Joe did.
Oh, into turn 1, this might be tight here. Kubarabi coming around the first corner. Dub, who's out on cold soft tires. Can he fire them up quickly? I think he has, and he keeps his position for now.
Yeah, back up in front. I am surprised, however, how Envy hasn't managed to pull out a significant gap yet. I wonder, has he just, somehow been affected by that penalty, or is Levi just putting in lap after lap, banger laps? But Andre's closed in on that gap as well, so we got the top 3 within a second of each other in Monaco on lap number 16.
Yeah, and well, that's another yellow flag, and that is Horning this time around. He has lost it at Larasca's front left end plate is gone, so we'll be seeing another Ferrari into the pits real soon, and that is Dub. That is Dub at the Nouvelle chicane. Lost his fronting once again. I don't know.
He's got his wing. His wing is intact, thankfully. But yeah, he's down in P11.
Yeah, you would have thought that being on the soft tires, he would have kept the position and gone for a quick lap, and he has lost it to Kubarabi for now. P10 and P9 occupied by the Haas for now.
Probably the front runners are clearly ensuring the action stays up in front. Half a second, the gap to Envy between Levi Tiger Pants and himself. Andre still in the mix. It was 8 tenths, now it's down to about 7 tenths or so. On the main stick, can we see a possible move? I'd love to see these 3 go 3 abreast, but the rear kicks out for Andre. I believe there was contact from the rear of the car onto the barriers, but by looks of it, it's extended the gap to beyond a second, putting him out of DRS range.
Yeah, but not to worry, I guess. Envy seems to be just minding his space, looking up the tires if anything. He has a lot more battery in his reserves. So I just wonder if he's saving his tires, just taking it easy for the last 5 or 10 laps to make a push and open up that 5-second gap that he needs to win this race on pace right now. Levi Tiger Pants still within a second. Andre has closed that gap up once again, so it seems to be very clear that Envy is not pushing as hard as he would like to yet.
Meanwhile, at the back of the pack, Horning has headed into the pits. For a fresh set of mediums, he'll be coming out behind his teammate as Dub sets the fastest lap time as we talk about. The man on the softs out on track, but how long can he survive out on track on those soft tires? Of course, an unlikely, driver out on track, which we haven't talked about enough. P13 he started, P6 he's running in Streeter, 8 lap old mediums, and he's running in the thickness of the action, you could assume. The safety car might just play into his favor.
Indeed, and 25 laps, I think it's a long way to go for the medium tires, so he will have to nurse them. Oh, that's not gonna help with the nursing. He got a little spin coming out of Larascas and into the final corner here. I think he keeps the gap. Big Man Joe suddenly sees himself with the prospect of overtaking Streeter for P6. Big Man Joe always been known to be on the right tire at the right time. He might just be this time as well. The hard tires will take him till the end. Streeter may find himself struggling towards the end of the race, provided if we don't get another safety car. All to play for, and we are just about halfway distance into the race. Envy leads the race with a 5-second time penalty. Half a second behind him is Levi Tiger Pants, who holds a 3-second time penalty to his name as well. And Andre in P3, who's clean so far.
Pits again. Pits again. Dub pits again.
Oh, he might just get lapped here. He might just get lapped here if he's not quick enough to exit the pit lane. This will be interesting. Derp getting lapped by Envy. Oh, not a day you would want to live for. Envy now coming across the line. Derp exiting the pit lane. This is gonna be close. Can Derp pull off real quick? He does. He does, and he might be safe for a lap or two now.
For now, but probably advantage Envy. Now he's gonna have a bit of slipstream help from his rival at some point early on in this season, but right now he is the car being lapped. Up ahead, you can see it as you ride on board Envy. If you are riding on board Envy, but Andre's closed that gap to within half a second to Levi Tiger Pants even. So it is a neck and neck battle up in front, and it's Andre as well as Envy with that advantage in the battery reserves.
What a beautiful sight from the rear wing of Envy. All three cars within touching distance of each other. One fumble from one of them and it could send all three of them wide. So just be careful, boys, into Novel Chicane. And speak about it, Andre has fumbled into the Novel Chicane. I wonder if that's some front wing damage coming his way.
Half a second gap now beyond for 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds or so. And now it's only Levi and Envy up in front with Envy having the advantage with the RS. Of course, in the midfield, Big Manjo and Street are getting real.
Oh, Envy gets a poor run, Sarthak. Envy gets a poor run, and Levi Tiger Pants loses his rear on the exit.
No.
That was his one and only chance to overtake Envy. And Levi now into turn 1, lost entire front wing. Oh boy, you couldn't script this any more than you'd like. Envy getting a poor exit gave Levi Tiger Pants the chance to overtake, but Levi Tiger Pants got a little too trigger happy and lost his front wing. Envy still keeps his lead. Andre comes around now. Will Levi let Andre through easily, or will Andre has to hustle his way around? He's losing time as we speak here.
Yeah, but he'll able to hustle himself around all that chaos clearly enough. His incident hasn't impacted him as much as it has Levi Tiger Pants, who's had a front wing missing. Not the first time we've seen an Alfa Romeo without a front wing around Monaco. And Andre's made the pass around the outside. Alfa Romeo. Of course, back to the midfield, Dalvin. Perhaps Big Manjo and Streeter within a second of each other, as well as Gouts, who's not too far off of Streeter either.
Yeah, and a three-man train once again forming here for P5. Gouts starting to hold up Streeter, starting to hold up Big Manjo. And Big Manjo finds an opportunity. Streeter runs wide on the Nouvelle Chicane. And Big Manjo might just go for a move into Tavak. No, thinks better of it and backs off at the right moment. Okay, it is starting to warm up now.
Yeah, Gouts is now safe from any kind of battles coming his way, because that gap's extended beyond a second. Big Manjo's still trying his best to keep that gap, but yeah, he's lost time out the final sector, and that time has gone well beyond the second. Levi heads into the pits, refresh sets tires as well with a front wing, and just like that, things have extended well beyond any kind of action to be spectated out on track.
At the same time, I could see Gouts starting to catch up to Mr. Wax. The Williams out on track on 21 lap, all hard tires, still keeping his cool, keeping himself out of the walls, and finding himself in a good position here right now. The question is, if he has any more pace, he will need that to pull off a gap and get into a better position come the next pit stop for him. Andre, in the meantime, well, Wax, sir, that's not the way how you take the Nouvelle Chicane. A big cut awards him with a time penalty. Back to Andre, who did fell almost 4 seconds behind Envy, is now within 3.5 seconds. So looks like Andre has a good amount of pace left and starting to catch up Envy bit by bit. Derp, not a day he would live to see. He's been lapped by his championship rival Envy, and Derp is down a lap here. Yeah,
unfortunate for the likes of Derp, finds up behind his teammate even, and with the ghosted car, I'd imagine that is the AI. Perhaps I'm wrong, but regardless, okay, it's not. It's not. Regardless, Envy leads this race, and we see Sicknig after 15 lap on the mediums. A bit of an unusual race for Sicknig. He's lost that front wing once, and ever since then he's been, really in a odd situation. And he's coming out on the hard tires, 5 lap old hard tires he had run previously. And yeah, and Gouts with 21 laps on the hearts continues and closes in on the likes of Mr. Wex, who's also on a similar set of tires at the same age.
Yep, and as the front two are just managing the gap, well, there's a four-man train, maybe even five-man train forming real soon. Mr. Wex leading the train in P3, still out on those 23-lap old hard tires. Gouts has made his pit stop. Oh, let's just get the pit stop information out on track here. Oh, that is a surprise. Mr. Wex and Gouts have not made their stop, so which means Streeter is now in the box seat for that elusive P3, the top, the final podium step. Big Man Joe and Levi Tiger Pants have swapped positions. I wonder what happened there.
Pressure set for Levi.
Okay, makes sense there.
Pressure set for Levi, 2-lap old mediums, and clearly that penalty to his name is not going to help his efforts in this race. Alfa Romeo getting incredibly close on the Alpine down the inside. He's going to peak for just a moment. He's going to take it. He dives down the inside ahead of the hairpin and around the outside of the hairpin. Alpine or Alfa Romeo, contact between the two almost sends the Alfa Romeo into a spin, but somehow Levi Tiger Pants wiggles his way through that Alpine, and now Streeter is between an Alfa Romeo sandwich.
Like a tiger in his name. Well, he would like to say tiger is my middle name, and he showed it and gets a little tap on the wall there at the Newell chicane. Still keeps his gap. Now finds himself within a second of Gouts and Mr. Wex, and suddenly, from Streeter being the one looking at a podium position, it's Levi Tiger Pants.
All over again.
Oh, what's happening here in La Rascas? It's getting tight. The front two have pitted. Yes, so Gouts has gone into the pits. Mr. Wex is into the pits, and Levi Tiger Pants suddenly finds himself in P3. Big Man Joe finds himself in P4. What a turnaround has it been for this Alfa Romeo pair, from starting the race in the second row to dropping almost till the end under the safety car, and now back to the second row.
Crazy if you think about it deeply, but we still got about 15 laps. 15 laps of racing left, folks. And we leads this race with a solid penalty to his name. Andre to follow. Levi and Big Man Joe back in the positions they started it.
Yeah, here's a battle for you, Sartak. P7 Kubarabi now catching up to Gouts, who just came out on fresher medium tires. So while these tires are taking a bit of a time to warm up, Kubarabi finds himself getting ever so close to the diffuser of that McLaren.
And yeah, around the hairpin, he's going to pretty much be breathing down, pressuring Gouts into a mistake perhaps. Big Man Joe picks up a 3-second time penalty. Could you imagine yet another Alfa Romeo getting the short end of the stick today? But as it seems, Kubarabi wants that position. He's deploying ER as much as he can through the tunnel section. But I think Gouts has gotten enough heat into those tires to ensure he holds on to P6.
Yeah, 15-second the gap now he has to cut down to P5. Fresher tires, 14 laps to go, 15 laps to go including this. 1 second a lap, Sartak. It's possible for him to close up to P5. And I wonder if the Alfa Romeo pair are going to play the team game now, with both of them having 3-second penalty. Big Man Joe to hold up Streeter to ensure at least one of the Alfa Romeos gets on that podium. After all that battle, inter-team battle, and all the shenanigans, we find themselves in a position where they have to work together. Interesting days.
Yeah, realistically though, they really need another life raft, some sort of saver in this race, considering with about 14 laps to go. A safety car maybe a fumble by the front runners, something, because there's a prominent gap for Levi to overcome, and that's about 26 seconds.
Speaking of front runners, we got Andre now, who is only just about 2 seconds off Envy. So in the past 5 to 6 laps, he has closed down the gap from 4 seconds down to 2 now. And well, we might wonder if that 5 second might be repealed. And Andre, considering his chances, would he want to take a P2 home, or would he want to make an overtake out on track just to be safe for that P1? Getting a little bit quiet out on track right now. Streeter drops a few positions, and that is because he's into the pits Makes his pit stop now, coming out on fresh medium tires. He will go
My,
till the end.
my apologies, Davin. I was actually talking and had forgotten my mic was off. Regardless,
It's
I
alright.
was just going through streeter pitting and how that is the set of tires he will be finishing the race on as long as nothing happens out on track.
And it's still, well, it's getting like towards the mid to late end game here, and it's a bit of a silence out on track as well. Not much happening. I wonder if, you know, in a few lap time, maybe the tires are starting to go off, and that's where we'll see some more pedals coming in. Quick tire update here. Let's see what's everyone on. The leaders, Envy and Andre, on 17 and 16 lap old tires. Levi Tiger Pants finds himself in P3, 24 seconds off the pair of the leaders, and Big Man Joe now starting to hold up the pack on 16 lap old hard tires. Gouts though, he is reeling in on Big Man Joe. All he has to do is get within 3 seconds of Big Man Joe, and P4 will be going to Gouts. Conservative start, but a strong race pace shown by him. Safe race pace, keeping out of incidents, and so far he seems to be doing the right thing on track. Kubarabi now starting close up on Gouts as well.
Yeah, that's Gautz's problem so far, as I like to see it. Kubarabi closing in, and he's managed to keep that gap within a second despite Gauts having the tire advantage. Clearly, he's getting into groove with his hard tires there. That Haas out on track. He's now within half a second. He's been within half a second or so, but this opens up perhaps an opportunity for Mr. Wex as well, who's been, you know, had not the greatest of races. He got 6 seconds in time penalties to serve as well, so one would think a jump in position, maybe 2, would help his favor.
Yeah, but for how long can Kubarabi keep up with his aging hard tires? The longer he goes, the more they'll age. Gouts though, I get the feeling he's not pushing that hard. You know, probably happy to bring home a P5, gaining 3 positions from the start. That will be a good achievement for today. But at the same time, he finds himself catching up to Big Man Joe, so that must be motivating him to push that little bit more just to close up the gap. 12 laps to go, including this. I think he has Big Man Joe in his sights.
And yeah, the back of the pack horning heads into the pits. The Ferrari drivers in a world of their own by the looks of it, but at the back of the packs are not the greatest parts of the track to be in. Of the pack to be in. In fact, 10 laps left, folks. As horning comes out on a fresh set of mediums, I presume. Dub still at the way back of the pack will get that jump on a horning, and up ahead, Kubarabi with the shortest gap between himself and Gouts. Envy leads this race with a prominent lead ahead of Andre of just over a second's gap. Yeah, Levi Tiger Pants, that last podium position is in his name so far for now.
Yep, and the gap grows even bigger now to Big Man Joe, so that is a big gap that Levi has pulled off. And well, I will say that was definitely a good team play there by Big Man Joe and Levi Tiger Pants to let Levi through on fresh tires, and that seems to be paying dividends. So that's at least one Alfa Romeo on the podium right now. Gouts now starting to close in on Big Man Joe even more, gained almost a second in that last lap. The gap now down to 9.8 seconds in 10 laps to go.
Just trying to do a bit of math here with the penalties. It does seem Gouts, just regardless. Anyway, Envy leads this race, 5 second time penalty to his name. Andre is probably in that mix where, you know, as long as post-race decisions aren't being made, he's set for a race win. But 9 laps left, folks. We've known BRL, and the race is in BRL, to be last couple of laps is filled with action, so I'd say a lot is yet to come.
Yeah, and P5 still up for contention. P4 even if Gouts can close up, and he seems to be doing a good job at that. Kubarabi, now Mr. Wax, joins the fray for the fight for P5, maybe even P4 if they can get close enough to Big Man Joe. In front, Andre and Envy, getting ever so closer. It seems like the closer you get, the harder it is to get the gap down by 1.2 seconds. I think that's pretty doable. 9 laps to go. I'm starting to wonder as well if that 5 second will stay or will it get removed. Andre has to make a decision if he wants to win. And Dub, has lost
You
it.
can stay on board Horning.
Oh no,
There he is.
that is the novel chicane, claiming another victim, and this
No front
time
left.
it's Dub who's gone out of the race.
Yeah, no front left. Sector 2 lights up yellow. I'm yet again surprised how that's not a full course yellow, but so we'll have it then. 10 laps left and no safety car in sights just yet. Gouts needs to close in a gap of about 5 seconds to ensure he gets P4, considering the 3-second time penalty for Big Man Joe. But right now, as it stands, the race continues on, and Andre has gotten within a second of Envy.
Yep, into the happy now. Just staying within touching distance. You don't want to get too close to be affected by the dirty air. Although these cars, they do not get as affected by dirty air compared to the previous generation of car. But yeah, overtaking is never easy in Monaco.
Contact between the McLaren and the Haas. Gout stumbles down the auto. Mr. Wex wiggles his way down the inside of Kuberabi, and Kuberabi being very respectful and giving that position back to Gouts. Vex, cheeky there, and up into P5.
Yeah, now this is a turning point of the race as well, I guess. So Mr. Wax, who had better tires towards this closing stage of the race, now is released into clear air to chase after Big Man Joe. Question is, can he get past Big Man Joe? Because Wax has a 6-second penalty, Big Man Joe has 3, so either way, advantage Big Man Joe for now. P4.
Yeah, unfortunate for Gouts. It seemed like he would be chasing down Big Man Joe, but now he's going to be held up by Mr. Wax, and his red is kicking out quite a bit. And at the back of the pack, it seems like Sicknick's having fumbles of his own. No, he's headed into the pits, and he's out on a fresh set of soft tires for the last 7 laps of this race.
Yeah, well, I guess that's not much to do at the back of the grid, apart from setting a quick time, gaining that extra championship point for the team and for himself, and maybe just having fun out on track here. He's quickly on the back of Horning already. I wonder if that's a move coming in. Up in front though, and Andre and Envy still juggling within 9 tenths and 1.1 seconds of gap.
Shortest gap between two drivers remains between Kuberabi and Gouts. And up in front, Andre's gone with over a second. I'd like to think 7 laps left. That is the end of any kind of action we'd see. But Sicknick's closing in on the likes of Horning on the stretch set of softs. It's the first couple of laps is only where he'll get a nice running on those softs before it starts collapsing, as we've seen here before.
Wow,
and he's on the gearbox of the Ferrari.
Indeed, so much more grip through Larascas, the one of the slowest part of the track, and onto the pit straight, gets DRS, but it won't be that effective around here. Into turn 1, gets very close on the exit. Can he get a better run? Will he risk it? Running up the hill, he gets close. 2 tenths, now the gap almost down to a tenth. That's very close to run. I wonder if he looks like he might just dive it down the inside around here. Sicknick, will he go for a move? Horning goes defensive. Sicknick tries to go around the outside with the soft tires. Better grip, gets the inside line into the lows hairpin. Makes the move for P9. What a move. He has been shaping up for about half a lap there.
Quite the pass, and I think Levi had all tapped and looked at Sicknick's stream and at some level, because he's taken that free pit stop he had with that gap to Big Man Joe, and he's out on soft tires. 42 seconds is a bit of a stretch on those tires to close in on your closest rival. Do you think the impossible can unravel itself for Levi? What do you think, Davin?
Well, it's still possible if Andre would want to go for an ambitious move on Envy and sending them both into Narnia. So that might open up the opportunity for a 1-2 for Alfa Romeo as we speak. But yeah, well, the front two are still just keeping themselves well behaved within a second. Levi finds himself in P3 with soft tires, possibly to take away that extra fastest lap point. Big Man Joe in P4 finds himself comfortably keeping his position, with Mr. Wax closing in much quicker. And Gouts in P6, who lost their position to Mr. Wax, needs to keep within 6 seconds of Mr. Wax to keep his P6. Kuberabi still can't find a way past Gouts so far.
And yeah, the 42 seconds gap is closing on 40 seconds now. Still quite the stretch with 5 laps left. Yeah, Kuberabi on guts. Will that pass ever happen? Is the question. It did happen after an unfortunate incident, but Kuberabi, being the gentleman he is, showed quite the sportsmanship and let guts pass, of course. And yeah, up in front, however, Andre within a second of envy. He wants it on track. He doesn't want penalties to be that differentiator for the race result.
Yeah, and I'm riding on board with Levi Tiger Pants now. I'm assuming this is his fastest lap attempt. First lap on those soft tires. Trying to beat Dub's fastest lap. 5 tenths up Levi Tiger Pants on his previous best. Into Lerascas. Can he keep it clean? And this would be a qualifying lap-ish moment. And he will have to send it on Anthony Nose here across the line. No DRS this time, of course. We are not in qualifying and it's not in DRS range. Across the line, 11.7. Levi Tiger Pants for now takes the fastest lap of the race.
Another 3-second gap amounts up to 9 seconds for Mr. Wex, which means even Streeter is going to make the jump on Mr. Wex come the finish line, the checkered flag itself. And yeah, not the greatest of outings for Mr. Wex. He's going to fall from P5 all the way down to P8 at the end of this.
Yeah, and well, as we always like to say, sometimes it gets decided on penalties. Even if you are up in front, you have to keep it clean. And at this moment, right now out on track, it seems like the wind might be going to the Mercedes garage. Andre doing himself a good job here to stay within a second of Envy. Had a fumble early on due to some collisions, but fought his way back and kept himself within a second. If that 5 second doesn't get removed, then Andre wins the race. If that 5 second does get removed, then Envy gets the win. But first, they have to cross the line.
Yeah, it seems like despite that 9-second penalty, however, for Mr. Wex hanging in the balance, he is really hell-bent on making that pass on Big Man Joe out on track. He is within 4 tenths or so of that Alfa Romeo as they come around the final parts of Sector 3. 3 tenths, main straight, DRS, ERS. He's got everything he needs to make the pass, but so does Big Man Joe in some sense. Down the inside, he's gonna peak. Almost contact between the two, and somehow Big Man Joe is ahead despite a lockup.
Yeah, indeed, Big Man Joe knows the risk that he has to take to defend the position for now. If Mr. Wex gets past him, it is possible that Mr. Wex could pull off a bigger gap and losing that P4. But into the lows hairpin, will Mr. Wex go for it? Tries to take a wider line. Still very close. Coming out of the hairpin now. And into Portier. Down into the tunnel. Will this be a second chance for Mr. Wex? Let's ride on board. On the rear cam of Big Man Joe, we can see Mr. Wex getting closer and closer and closer into the braking zone. But not close enough. Newell chicane. And into Tabak and into Raskas. Another opportunity awaits for Mr. Wex.
And yeah, Gouts and Kuberabi getting closer and closer to Mr. Wex as well, followed by Streeter. So 5-man train at the last lap. This might be, but for now, it seems like Mr. Wex and Big Man Joe are the ones fighting it out there. Up ahead, Andre and Envy, almost half a second. The gap between
Gouts runs wide. Gouts runs wide.
Oh no!
He has spun, had half spin coming out of Anthony Nose, and that has gifted Kuberabi the P6 that he needs, and now to chase after Mr. Wex and Big Man Joe for that P4.
Yeah, just the way he'd hoped to get it. Kuberabi now up at a P6. Wex still trying his best to keep it within touching distance of Big Man Joe. 9 seconds, his name's not gonna pay off at the end of the race. Come the hairpin, Big Man Joe's gonna park his car brilliantly enough to ensure he holds on to P4 till the end of the race. He's got about a lap left, Mr. Wex. Can he make the move?
It's getting a lap a little too late here. He might have had his best chance on the previous lap on the straight, but now it looks like Big Man Joe might have found the right place to defend. Oh, he runs wide, Mr. Wex. That is not gonna help his case. Picks up another 3-second penalty there, and that is gonna drop him even further down the grid. He might even just, at this point, he might just end up in P8 behind Streeter.
They're closing in on the final lap, folks, but on the penultimate lap, Andre keeps it within half a second of our race leader with a bit of ERS in the tank. But that advantage is still in the hands of the Aston Martin. 37% of ERS in the tank. Last lap of Monaco GP in Season 6 of the Bwoah Racing League main straight. He's going to deploy as much ERS as he can, Andre. But little does he know, no matter what he does, it's Envy with that advantage. But that penalty is going to clearly play into Andre's favor. Regardless of it, Andre wants it out on track. He wants to win fair and square out on track.
It's getting tight for P1, and it's also getting tight for P4, and there's a bit of yellows going on that is horning into the pits, and that's possibly for a fresh set of tires to have some attempt at the quick lap.
You could arguably say Andre's clearly played into Envy's antics in some sense, but in the tunnel section, as you'd imagine, ERS being deployed by both drivers, but advantage Aston Martin. Sector 2 lights up yellow. Streeter on the final lap is out of this race. In the same part, Derp lost it. No front left tire for him.
Yeah, so that is his race over, a lap sooner than he expected.
Yeah, despite all the shenanigans up in front, the Alfa Romeos being in the mix of the Mercedes and the Aston Martin, at the end of it all, Envy tried his best, will come across the line first, but that time penalty is going to set him back. Andre retakes the top step of the podium. He wins the Monaco GP of Season 6 in the Bwoah Racing League, and it's still yet to see.
There's a little bit of commotion going on there, Sarthak, down at the Nouvelle Chicane. The DNF car Streeter, Konrad Signick, who also DNF at the same spot, and Levi Tiger Pence found himself almost, well, I'd say wearing his pants there by running into the pair of them. But yeah, he's kept it clean.
The race is not over.
It's not over yet.
The race is not over. We got a 4-man DRS train going through the tunnel section of the track, and some of them even have 62% ERS in the likes of Kubarabi. Sector 3 is going to be crucial.
It's very close here. It's very close. Kubarabi could get a jump on both of them on time penalties here. So Big Man Joe, if he keeps it clean, he still could get in P4 or 5. It's still close.
So yeah, just to wrap up the podium itself, it is Levi who will take the last step of the podium, fumbled by Mr. Wax. Regardless, 12-second time penalty sets him back by quite a bit. Kubarabi, what a race he's driven. He's going to hop on to P4, followed by Gouts into P5. Big Man Joe and Vex tumble down the order at the last lap.
Well, I guess that's a statistic to be held for today. The winner of Monaco GP always comes from the front row, and Envy has proven that today. No overcuts, magic happening today. Well, but you know, we got a race on our hand here. Well, Envy won it on track, but the stewards will have a look possibly if Envy wants to protest that 5 seconds, which arguably came due to, you know, ignoring yellow flags under the safety car, which is known to be an issue. But we got it. We got a wonderful battle out on track. Andre for now wins the race and be in P2. Levi Tiger Pence finds himself in P3 after a bunch of fumbles, but comes home back in P3 and takes the fastest lap away from Derp. And Derp with 11.9. Unfortunate for him as well. Catching out, the Nouvelle Chicane catching him out, and a few other drivers, Signick, Streeter and Derp, all falling victim to that same corner on different laps.
And yeah, with that fastest lap going, Levi Tiger Pants has points to his name in the Drivers' Championship fight. Kubarabi Gods making that jump onto Big Man Joe was crucial for them, for their title fight efforts as well, I'm sure. Andre leaving Monaco with a win. Folks, we can leave it there. I guess we can wrap it up. Davin, it's been a treat as always behind the mic alongside you. And we'll see you again next race.
Indeed. And where we headed to, I forgot once again, but we'll be going somewhere where we are going to see a lot more racing from the boys here in Bwoah Racing League season number 6. Spain. Wow. Okay, I love the track. We'll have some more fun then.
Yeah, we'll leave it there then, folks. Cheers. We'll see you again next weekend.